Hey, welcome to Musings of Them, the podcast. This is your host, Komkom, your favorite baby coming straight to you from my home. Musings of Them is the first ever fully channeled podcast where I deliver unscripted messages of divine wisdom, guidance, healing knowledge straight to you from the source, the universe, God, creator, whatever you want to call it, and my spiritual team. Weaving in my education, life experiences, healing journey. As well, I'm here to motivate and empower you as an intuitive channel and medium, spiritual advisor, and coach. So ultimately, I hope that this podcast assists you on your healing and spiritual journey so that you can embody your authentic truth and be your best self, because you deserve it. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to be notified of new podcasts as well as other projects I'll have on this site. And before we begin, I want to get settled into our bodies and be present with the moment with a mindfulness meditation exercise. I want you wherever you are to get comfortable. Maybe you're standing or sitting or laying down, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. I want you to just get comfortable with your body. Circle your fingers, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Circle your shoulders, going backwards. Roll your neck, starting in one direction. Allow yourself to just move and feel how it feels to do these little movements in your body from head to toe. You may notice an area of tension or an area that has strain or pain. Just notice these areas and see if you can allow movement, if it's possible to enter these areas. I want you to take the time to just move slowly, intentionally. You may begin now to reverse the circle if you're still rolling your head or your shoulders. Reverse the direction of that. If you're wiggling your toes, see if you can move in a different way. If you're wiggling or moving your arms, see if you can be like water, allowing yourself to flow where you can. Now as we come to a still, letting out the last of those movements, we take 3 of the deepest breaths we've taken all day. Grounding ourselves into this present moment, grounding ourselves on this earth, we imagine that we are taking deep, deep breaths. As if we are trees and our roots at the end of our feet are going into the earth, down to the core of the earth. We breathe in from those roots, allowing that breath to travel upwards from our feet all the way to the top of our heads, holding our breath at the top of our heads for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we release that breath from the top of our heads to our feet, releasing anything that does not belong to you in this moment. Releasing the tension, stress, fear, insecurities, doubts, we release back into the earth. Grateful that the earth can take this from us energetically. We breathe in again, deep breaths down from the core of the earth, bringing in the earth's abundance, earth's safety and security. We breathe that into our bodies, up to the top of our heads, and we hold our breaths now for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, releasing that breath from the top of our heads down to our feet, releasing letting go of what you need to in this moment. Allowing your shoulders to fall down at that out breath. Your stomach to go back towards our spine. Releasing and feeling that release back into the earth. Now our last biggest breath, we take it in deep. Allowing our stomach to expand from that core of the earth. We breathe in life's affirming energy, holding that to the top of our heads. We now hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing that energy now again. What do you need to release in this moment? Allow that out breath to help you expel and release anything that needs to go right now. Knowing that it is being held by the earth, and the earth continues to hold us each and every day. And as we watch our breath return back to its natural rhythm, see if you can notice. I invite you to bring that attention to where you feel your breath the most. So some of you, it might be right at the tip of your nose, at the nostrils, feeling the heat as you breathe out and the coolness as you breathe in. It might be in your chest. It might be in your abdomen as your stomach expands and your chest deflates. Where do you feel your breath the most? Bringing attention and awareness to that location. Just follow it. What is the cadence, the rhythm of your breath? How fast, how deep are you breathing? Notice in this moment, in this time, the quality of your breath. This is not to judge or to critique how we are breathing, to just bring awareness to that we are breathing. Your mind might wander. Thoughts, feelings, sensations might pop up during this time. And that's okay. Just gently bring your breath back. Bring your mind back to return again to this breath that you hold in your body. Taking a few seconds now to just watch our breath. Gently and slowly at your own pace, bringing your awareness back to whatever room or location you are in, to the noises around you. What do you hear? What sounds? How far? How many? From which direction are you hearing them? What do you feel? Is there a breeze? Is the temperature hot, cold, warm? Do you feel your clothing on your skin? What do you feel? Now to our side. What do you see around you? What are your eyes drawn to in this moment? What's the texture, color, size of that thing that your eye is drawn to? Now, fully coming into our senses and awareness of where we are in our body placement. Are you sitting? Are you laying down? Are you standing? Bringing our awareness back into our senses and our body. We have arrived. Yay! Thank you for going through that short mindfulness exercise with me. Hopefully you feel more grounded in the present. And maybe that just brings us to our channeled podcast portion, where, as y'all know, on this podcast, I ask Spirit, my spiritual team, my chi, what message should I share today for the collective? And I channel that message. So Spirit gave me this topic to discuss, and I was just like, why not? Let me just whip it out and we can get into it, right? Get your head out the gutter. That's not what I meant. So, embodied spirituality. This is a topic I've been thinking about a lot, especially when it comes to my own personal practice of spirituality and coming into the field of spirituality from a new agey perspective, and then finding my roots again through my ancestral beliefs and understanding, and then studying other ancient philosophies and concepts and cosmologies, so worldviews and how this world is made up. And I've come to this greater understanding that spirituality needs to be embodied. As an ex-Catholic, where the universe is considered to be outside of us, it's considered to be this amorphous thing that is external to who we are, come to the truth that actually, the universe is inside of us. In the Christian faith, they say that we are made in God's image. And not only do my ancestors, but other several ancient beliefs believe that there's God within us, that we are connected to God, God's source. We are co-creators with this universe. So God is already within us. And being able to connect with your body, to be able to receive that energy, to receive the guidance that is given to us through that God within, is so crucial to being able to navigate this world in alignment with one's truth, in alignment with one's energy. Being embodied, or embodied spirituality rather, means being able to connect the feeling, the emotions, the energetic sensations in your body with guidance, with direction, with truth. A lot of us, our nervous systems are fucked up. Our nervous systems are fried and wired to be anxious, or to close, or to be in a constant state of survival, because this world is tough. It is tough to be in this world, especially if you come from certain backgrounds or look a certain way or have certain identities. And so our nervous systems are tight. They are in constant survival, fight or flight, and thus it becomes harder for us to receive messages from the divine, the messages that we receive through energy, right? To be able to acknowledge or know what those messages are when our nervous systems are not working functionally, when our nervous systems are not working properly, when we are not able to ground ourselves in our bodies. I just started, not even just started, but asking myself these two questions. What do I feel, and what do I need? Because it is in the feeling that gives us the guidance and where we need to go. For example, if you have, let's say, a show that you were planning on going to and you're just not sure, and you ask your body, well, what do I feel? Is there a sense of uplifting, of elation, or is there a sense of decompression and pushing away, an energy that goes away from, right? That's just one way of tapping into your body. Practices like mindfulness and being mindfully aware of the shifts and changes within us, being mindfully aware of the energy as it flows. Like that is being able to bring one's awareness to a deep level beyond just like, I feel the air and I feel my heartbeat. It is being able to feel waves of energy, to tap into that space, an imperceptible space that provides you with your body's wisdom. Embodiment allows us to tap into the wisdom of our bodies and the truth of our souls. If your spirituality is not embodied, if you are outsourcing your divinity and outsourcing your energy, if you are not connecting to the truth of who you are through your body, it becomes difficult. It can become difficult, is what I'll say, to know how the universe is guiding you forward. Because sometimes it is the feeling, it is the movement of energy, it is the things we hear, the visions that we see that provides us an opportunity to know what is for us and what is not. Embodied spirituality requires that we are rooted in our bodies, that we acknowledge our human vessel. We acknowledge the humanness, that we, yes, are a spirit having a human experience, and we are human. And we came into this world to experience what it meant to be in this physical form, to be in matter. Embodied spirituality is the bridge between our souls, between our spirit and the matter, the physicalness of what we can touch, what we can see, taste, hear, feel. Embodied spirituality means deeply connecting our minds, our bodies with our souls and having them all work in tandem. We're not neglecting one for the other. Sometimes in spiritual circles, I see people like so high up in the 3D, and this included myself for a time being. I just naturally exist in the upper realms. I naturally daydream. My mind can literally travel, and I can go to other worlds and create other worlds. But that it becomes a disembodied experience when you're constantly, your mind, when your consciousness is always being projected elsewhere, and you aren't centered or rooted in your body. Like each one of us, our souls have come into this world for a reason, for a purpose, for a mission. And I like to say our soul's purpose is, we'll talk more about this later, authentic truth, embodying one's authentic truth. And the mission is different. How that shows up and what that means and how that looks is very much dependent on the blueprint of your soul and what it agreed to come here to do and see and experience and express. But when we're constantly up in the ethers, up in the higher realms, the higher worlds, we don't allow that creative energy, what is considered the feminine, to be grounded in the 3D through matter. And there are some people who live their lives like that. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying that in order to be and to express your fullness, you have to be able to ground what it is your soul came here to do. What it is your soul came here to experience. It has to be taken from the dream form, the deep desire form, and made manifest into a reality. And that disconnect between the energy or the spirit of something and the matter of it can be made even more larger when you aren't practicing an embodied spirituality. When your connection with the creator, source, God, whatever you want to call it, isn't deeply rooted in your physical form. One of the ways that I practice embodied spirituality is when I am cleansing or grounding or shielding myself, I feel it. I tap into my body. My body tells me, it lets me know when it's like releasing. Like I will literally have tears coming out of my eyes, or I will yawn. There will be some sort of physical sensation or shift and movement in my body that allows me to feel, okay, I have energetically released, I have energetically cleansed. There is a tie to what I do energetically and spiritually to how it feels and how it moves within me and how I perceive those shifts and changes. And that has allowed me, as someone who's a pretty skeptical, to become more trusting and have more faith in my spiritual practices. Because it's hard to do so when it's like out there, when you're not seeing the results. You know, let's say I ask you to ground and cleanse yourself and you're like, well, how do I know it works? That's when you need to get in touch with your body. That's when you need to get in touch with your physical being and ask to be shown how this works for your system. Going back to the nervous system, our nervous system is what allows us to, it carries like neural activity, brain activity, feelings, emotions, thoughts throughout our bodies. It is the system of feeling, the system of emotion. And when our nervous system is dysregulated and discombobulated and all of the other things and feeling dis-ease because of instances of trauma or violence, we are cut off from the ability to be embodied. And as I mentioned, tap into our body's wisdom and our soul's truth. It is as if we have a tool, a crucial tool that is so important to navigating this world is not necessarily taken away because your nervous system is always there, but it is compromised. It's a compromised tool. And that tool is within us. In every part of our body, we have the nervous system. It is everywhere. And it is so important that we always check in to our nervous system, to our bodies, when we are practicing our spirituality and our energy work. Musings of Them, the podcast, is sponsored by me. I am the co-founder of Healing for Liberation, or H4L. H4L is a visionary healing studio and consulting firm that provides innovative, integrative wellness, and holistic healing services, products, and spaces. If you are seeking one-on-one coaching, workshops, or events, or even intuitive guidance and energy healing that can help you release past trauma and pain, connect with your authentic truth and inner wisdom to empower you, transform, and liberate yourself and life, go to h4l.studio. That's the letter H, the letter 4, L, studio, not .com, but .studio. I also run a YouTube channel as well that provides free resources like meditation, mindfulness, Reiki healing. So I'll have the links to not only my website, but to the YouTube channel below in the About section. Being embodied in that, first of all, if our soul's purpose is to be our authentic
self. How do you know you're being your authentic self and you're expressing your authentic truth if you can't feel it? Our minds are so limited in what they can do. It's like a tape recorder up there. It's based off of things we've seen and their experiences, and it just replays back a lot of shit. 80%, what? I think it was like 80%, 80 to 90% of our thoughts are subconscious. 80 and 90% of the things that go on in our brain and the things that pop up, we don't have any control over. It's something beneath us. We don't have a conscious effort to change how our mind operates, but that doesn't mean we cannot master our minds. It's just that when it comes to the subconscious, it can do what it wants. And that's why things like reprogramming your subconscious and replacing limiting beliefs and thoughts can come in. However, the point I was trying to make is that our minds are so limited. And when we focus on what goes on in our minds, especially when it comes to spirituality, we miss a huge part of being able to embody, being able to know truth. Not just understand it, but to feel it. If you go to a spiritualist, psychic medium, oracle, whatever you want to call it, tarot reader, and they say, yes, your truth, your soul wants to be a writer. You have the knowledge in your mind that is something your soul wants to express. And they say you go to others and you get the same message, writer, but you don't feel it. It's not a truth that you know. It's something, or that you feel. It's something that you have understood about your soul, but you haven't felt it because you haven't embodied that truth. You haven't felt in the spaces in your being, yes, I'm a writer. You haven't practiced the art of writing. You haven't allowed yourself to be taken in by words and play around with expression and creativity and adding and mixing words. It's something that hasn't been fully embodied. It's not a living practice. And that too is just an example of what embodied spirituality, how that is different from knowing versus being. And I say that because that's something that I too have struggled with. And I think knowing and being are very different. Knowing, you can know a lot of things, but are you that thing? are you living your truth? And I know in my case, a lot of it was knowing that there was something more, but not knowing how to be that more, or knowing that there was something different meant for me, or that knowing that, this doesn't feel right, but not being it's not necessarily not being aware, but being unsure of how to navigate, because I was outsourcing. Spent so many time on the tarot videos, psychics, mediums, trying to understand from my mind's perspective what the fuck I came here to do. Who am I? And I realized, okay, I gotta cut all that out, because the only way I can know is if I feel it. If I begin to embody it in the present moment and start taking steps to live it, because in the process of living it, I will be it. And I think that's one of the dangers of the easy access it is nowadays to spiritualists, is that they will tell you things, and that is their job. And I'm not downing anyone who goes to a spiritualist or a reader or a seer. But we take that knowledge as the truth without doing what is needed and necessary to be in the truth. It's as if our minds become satiated with the knowledge. And that's what our minds do. You know, we can trick ourselves into doing or feeling that we've accomplished something by just even thinking about it and imagining it. And so that is the trick of the mind, is that you have all this information you get from life, from energy, from spirit. And then the question is, what next? What do you do with it? How do you be it? How do you live it? How do you live that truth? How do you embody your spiritual practices? So not only does it show up when you're on the mat, but it is living in you. From every moment and every day, you express it. Allowing the energies of creativity, the energies of the creator and the universe to move through you, to feel where you need to go. That is a big part of being in flow. Of allowing your higher self and allowing your soul to lead. Not from the egoic mind, but from something deep within. Your spirit, your soul, your higher self, whatever you want to call it. God. Like I'm sitting here recording this. Because something in me said, and it wasn't even my mind, it felt like, okay, I feel like this is something I need to do. Felt this movement of energy, of confirmation, like, yes, talk about embodied spirituality. Talk about it. Bring that into the world. And so I sat here and I did, and that's what you're listening to, is the response to the energy in me. That response to my soul. We often hear embodiment in terms of the mind and body connection, and I like to push it a little further and say embodiment is mind, body, soul, energy. Embodiment requires that we are in touch and in tune with all those parts of us. And embodiment requires that we regulate our nervous system, y'all. That we are mindful. That we are able to tune in to our energy and be able to get to a point where we can feel the frequencies of our spirit, to receive the divine guidance from our souls. I don't know about you, but that can be difficult to do if you are not aligned to your truth. And so there is an alignment process of being aligned to what is true and what is not, and knowing how that feels in your body. Being aligned to what is for you and what is not, and knowing how that feels in your body. And being able to be aware of the feeling. That is what embodied spirituality provides for us. It's not something that we can continually outsource. It is something that we have to bring back within and really connect to ourselves all around. Because while we might be feeling it, we might be mindfully aware that our brains are saying a lot. The fears are popping up, the doubts, the insecurities, and being able to discern and detangle what is in right relationship with authentic truth. It's a skill. It's a skill. But it's something, because it is a skill, it's something everybody can learn, right? It's just a matter of how willing are you to do the work? How willing are you to go through the process of uncovering and shifting and chaos, y'all? It's not embodied spirituality. Will have your beliefs thrown in your face. It will have your shadows, the parts of you have shame, guilt, and push away, revealed. It will show you the places that you need to let go of, or the places you need to release, the places you need to call in and strengthen, so that you can live from that space. I said space and then place, and I mixed it up to be splace. So from that space of authenticity, and I can't even say without fear, because there are moments where I still have fear, and I've done so much work to not let the fears take over, but to know that you are bigger than the fears, and that you are being guided, where you are being guided, how you are being guided, by your soul, by the energy, is bringing you to a place of truth, of power, and inner liberation. So that's what I got for y'all today. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next week. Sending peace and love.
That's the message I have for y'all today. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like this week's episode, and to share to someone who you think this might resonate with or be helpful for. Remember, we are here to cultivate an open, honest, transparent space full of radical vulnerability, non-judgment, and unconditional love for ourselves and others. And as always, I am so grateful for your presence and taking the time and the space, actually, to listen wherever you are in the world. I don't take it for granted, and it really means a lot to me. So I'll catch y'all next week, and until then, peace and love.